Good afternoon. So today we will discuss percentage and other percentage taxes. Something that is related more or less with our discussion on business taxation. Okay. So let me just share the screen. So ayan. Okay. So ano sabi natin? Business taxes, there are three. So we have the value-added tax, we have the percentage tax, and other percentage tax. And the last one is excise tax. Now, remember the rule on registration, no? So general rule, registration is VAT. Ang VAT, merong mandatory, merong optional. And then we have exception, a taxpayer can register as non-VAT. In practice, kapag sinabing non-VAT, people would always pertain to the taxpayer who is subject to 3% percentage tax. Pero mali yan. Because a non-VAT taxpayer can be subject to 3% percentage tax. Ito yung hindi lumampas na gross sales na 3 million, excluding VAT exempt transactions, at hindi nag-VAT. Okay, siya yung hindi matigas ang ulo. Ito yung matigas ang ulo, hindi lampas ng 3 million, pero gusto mag-VAT, edi vatable siya. The other taxpayer who is not matigas ang ulo, has a gross sales of 3 million. And the registration is non-VAT. So meaning, did not opt for VAT registration, kaya yung sales niya of goods and or services or lease of properties is subject to 3% percentage tax. Siya yung section 116 ng tax code. Okay? The other taxpayers who are subject to non-VAT are those who are subject to other percentage taxes. Kaya nga siya other eh. Kasi bukod siya dito, kaya wag nating paghahaluin. Kaya nga ito yung sinasabi ko no, when I see other materials. The taxpayer is non-VAT subject to 3% percentage tax. And then the question is about how much is the other percentage tax? My God! Okay, it cannot be like that because iba ang percentage tax na 3%. Ito yung section 116. Ito ng other percentage taxes naman, ito yung section, so ito, section 116 yan, no? 116. Ito, 117 hanggang 127. Ayun yan. Kaya nga siya other. Kasi bukod siya dito na 3% na percentage tax. Kaya wag natin paghahaluin. Okay, and then also, I've noticed some questions, no? The taxpayer is subject to OPT. Tapos magtatanong how much is the percentage tax? Halatang-halata hindi naiintindihan ang pinagsasabi. Okay, so wag tayo magpapalito dyan. Now, so what is a percentage tax? Basically, it is a business tax. Other than VAT, no? It is imposed on persons, entities, or transactions specified under Section 116 of the Tax Code up to 127. Ayun ang 116, ayun ang up to 127 of the NIRC. Okay? And as required under special laws kasi meron tayong mga tinatawag na franchise tax na based sa special law din yan. Okay, so what is percentage tax also? So when we say percentage tax here, when we look at the definition, ito yung subject sa OPT at saka OPT. Ayan, yan lahat yan. Now, a percentage tax is also a tax imposed on the sale, barter, exchange of goods, or sale of services based upon gross sales or value in money, except insurance companies. Kasi kapag insurance company, ang gross sales nila, okay, derived sa premium yan, sa premium payment. Derived by the manufacturer, producer, or seller measured by a certain percentage of the gross selling price or the gross sales. Okay? Now, what is the tax base? What is the basis of the percentage tax? It is based on the gross sales. So meaning, kung magkano yung nasa taas, magkano yung benta mo, i-multiply mo lang ng corresponding rate. Diba? So ganyan lang kasimple, except insurance companies kasi nga ang basis ng insurance company is on the premium payments. So whatever is the premium, you just multiply it by the rate. Ganun lang kasimple kapag insurance. Premium tax ang tawag minsan. So when we say gross sales, it means all amounts received by the prime or principal contractor, okay, in case of sale of service, undiminished by any amount paid to any subcontractor. Kasi itong amount paid to any subcontractor, ang tawag natin dyan, cost of service. Hindi natin binabawasan yan. Okay, under a subcontract arrangement. So whatever is the gross, yun yung gross natin. Yung any payment to any subcontractor is part of the cost of service. So therefore, yung gross natin pa rin, yung gross sales natin. Okay? For the purpose of amusement tax, dito naman tayo. Oh, by the way ha, hindi lahat kasi binago ng EOPT. Kasi sabi ng iba, wala na raw gross receipts. Mali, meron pa rin gross receipts. Merong hindi naapektuhan ng EOPT. So when you see gross receipts here na walang notation about gross sales, that means it was not amended by the EOPT. Now, balik tayo rito. For the purpose of the amusement tax, the gross receipts embraces all receipts of the proprietor kung siya yung may-ari, lessee kung siya yung nag-list lang, okay? Operator kung siya lang yung nag-ooperate ng amusement place. Okay? Said gross receipts also include income from television, radio, motion picture rights, if any. Mga kapatid ha, lahat ng receipts embraces all receipts of the proprietor, lessee, or operator of the amusement place. So halimbawa, yung isang amusement place, no, meron siyang restaurant. Tapos meron pa siyang entrance fee. Okay? So, yung mga yon, gross receipts lahat yon. Okay, so what are the characteristics of percentage tax? Yeah, well, it's a business tax. It is a form of sales tax, no? Kasi nga, the tax is based on the sales. And it is also a deduction from gross income. Deductible itong mga to. Okay? Now, tingnan natin to. Isa-isahin na natin yung mga percentage taxes under NIRC. Let's start with Section 116. This one is the taxpayer under Section 109C, 109CC. Siya yung hindi lumampas ang gross sales na 3 million, excluding the VAT exempt transactions na hindi nagpat. So, this one is a tax on persons exempt from VAT. Siya yung exempt from VAT, ito yan, Section 109CC, whose annual gross sales do not exceed 3 million. So, hindi siya nag-opt ng VAT. So, the basis of the 3% percentage tax is the quarterly gross sales. So, kung meron siyang, halimbawa, sa first quarter, January, meron siyang sales na 100,000. February, meron siyang sales na 200,000. March, meron siyang sales na 300,000. Total for the quarter, 600,000. I-multiply mo lang yan ng anong rate? 3% daw. Eh di, ayan. Yan na kagad ang yung tax niya. Ang tax nito, percentage tax ang pangalan niya. Ganyan lang kasimple ang percentage tax. Under Section 116, ito yung PT na subject to 3%. Noong pandemic, it was lowered to 1%, no? Under CREATE law, kaya nga corporate rehabilitation, pinababa yan para hindi masyadong maramdaman ng mga taxpayers yung impact ng pandemic. Originally, it was 3% under the tax code. Remember, the tax code became effective January 1, 1998. And then by July 1, it became 1%. Nang nag-expire na yung CREATE law, July 1, 2023 onwards, so which means today, the tax rate would be 3%. Ganyan lang kasimple. Kung magkano yung gross na quarterly natin, i-multiply mo lang ng 3%, tapos na ang problema mo. Okay? Now, what are the things that you need to remember about 3% percentage tax? It applies to not only the individual but also non-individual, including estates, trusts, partnerships, and corporation. Alam niyo ba, pandemic, ang daming nalito rito. People thought that the 3% percentage tax applies only to individuals. Mali. Kaya nagkaroon ng clarificatory issuance si Commissioner dati at nagsasabi na lahat applicable yan basta naanpat ang registration niya, hindi lampas ng 3 million at hindi siya subject sa OPT. Okay? Also, ito na yung binabanggit natin paulit-ulit. Non-VAT ang registration niya na nagbebenta ng goods, properties, or services na hindi siya lumampas ng 3 million, exempt sa VAT yan under 109CC kasi nga ito yung hindi lumampas ng 3 million na hindi nag-VAT. So, siya yan. Siya din yung lessor ng residential units na yung monthly rental ay lampas ng 15,000 pesos. Okay, pero yung total sales niya or rental niya do not exceed 3 million. Remember ha, mabalikan natin yung VAT exempt transactions natin. If the rental monthly unit, okay, exceeds 15,000, titignan mo yung total. Lampas ba ng 3 million yan? Ay di, what ang registration yan? Hindi ba lampas? Di subject yan sa percentage tax, non-VAT ang registration. Pero kung lampas ng 15,000 ang monthly rental ng residential units, okay, VAT exempt, exempt din sa percentage tax. Okay? Remember also, any taxpayer, individual, self-employed who availed 8%, no? Preferential or commuted tax, they are exempt from the payment of 3% percentage tax kasi ang 8% na to, embedded dyan yung 3% percentage tax. Kaya walang babayaran na 3% kapag nag-8% si self-employed or mixed income earner doon sa kanyang business income. Okay? Napakaliwanag under train law kasi dati hindi sigurado yung mga taxpayers, yung cooperatives, they are VAT exempt on certain particular transactions. So it's clear under the tax code that they are exempt from VAT. Yung agri cooperative, yung ang tawag nito, yung mga credit cooperative, multipurpose, exempt yan sa VAT. Pero walang binabanggit about percentage tax. Ngayon sa train law, niliwanag. Kapag kooperatiba ka, exempt ka sa percentage tax. But only those that are covered by your activities as a cooperative. Meaning, kung kooperatiba yan, tapos merong rent income yan, yung rent income is not covered by the exemption. Therefore, subject yun sa 3%. Profit activity kasi. Okay, remember also, any taxpayer whose income, individual, has been subjected to graduated tax, may be subject to 3% percentage tax. Okay, ito yung hindi nag 8%. Okay, bakit maybe? Kasi mayroong mga transactions that are exempt. Okay, at saka, pwedeng ang registration nito, cover siya ng other percentage tax. Kaya maybe lang yan. Okay? And for your information, Create Law became effective April 11, 2021. Merong retroactive effectivity. Okay? Tapos meron din prospective. Now, let's go now to section 117. Percentage tax on domestic carriers. Okay? And keepers of garage. Okay? So, anong ginagawa nito? Essentially, transport of passengers to. Kaya nga applicable sa mga jeep, sa mga bus, sa mga taxi, yung mga cars for hire. Okay? Hindi applicable ang common carriers tax. Yan ang pangalan niya. Kaya nga siya other percentage tax kasi common carriers to, applicable yan sa mga domestic common carrier at saka keepers of garage. Hindi applicable yan sa mga cars for rent. Okay? Sorry, applicable yan sa mga cars for rent. Ayun, no, cars for hire, applicable yan. Sa mga transport contractors of passengers. Okay, mga contractor to ha. Halimbawa, yung mga bus na mag-outing kayo, mag-ano kayo ng mga mag-rent kayo ng bus. Yan yun, transport contractors of passengers. At saka yung mga keepers of garage sa mga ano to, sa mga taxi-taxi. Okay, hindi applicable, does not apply yung mga owner ng bangka. Alam niyo ba nung elementary, high school ako, no? In Macabebe, Pampanga, it's always flooded. Kaya minsan nagbabangka kami dati, kumukuha kami ng pasahero para walang magkabaon, no? So, yung binabayad sa amin, exempt yan sa percentage tax for income tax purposes. Tandaan niyo yung rule, no? Any income derived from whatever source, taxable. Okay, tapos yung kalesa, animal drone, two-wheeled vehicles. Ito lang ang specific na mga transactions which are exempted. So therefore, any no other than those two na hindi nabanggit, taxable. Example, yung mga habal-habal, hindi covered dyan sa exemption. Yung mga padyak-padyak, hindi covered ng exemption. Bakit? Wala dyan eh. Remember, exemptions are strictly construed against the taxpayer. And therefore, it will be liberally interpreted in favor of taxing authority. Okay, bangka lang at saka yung kalesa ang in-exempt. So, yung mga hindi covered dyan, kung halimbawa tuktok o kaya yung mga hari ng daan ngayon, no, yung mga e-bikes, kung namamasada yung mga yan, they're not covered by the exemption. Okay? Tandaan mo, pag sumakay ka ng PAL o Cebu Pacific, domestic flight, batable yan. Ganun din, sumakay ka ng Tugo, mga barko, vessel, supercat, super ferry, ayan, subject sa 12%. Tatandaan mo ha, kapag air and sea, batable. Kapag land-based yan, exempt yan kasi subject sa common carriers tax because it pertains to transport of passengers. Yung mga transport network companies, yung mga Grab, InDrive, wala ng Uber ngayon sa Pilipinas, are treated as follows, no? Meron bang prangkisa yan? Yung prangkisa, ito yung tinatawag na Certificate of Public Convenience. Dati, madaling ma-identify ito. Bakit mga yellow plates ang mga yan? So, those which are covered by Certificate of Public Convenience are subjects to 3% common carriers tax. Bakit? Kasi para silang taxi. Ayun ang taxi 3% common carriers tax yan Kapag wala silang certificate of public convenience, meaning they don't have any franchise, their business tax uh, would depend on the gross sales. Lampas ba sila ng 3 million? Ba't yan? Hindi ba sila lampas? 3% percentage tax. Yan ang rule regarding domestic carriers and keepers of garage. And the base of the 3% would be the quarterly gross sales. So parang katulad kanina, ito total mo lang ang January, ito total mo lang ang February, at saka March, 100,000 dito, 200,000 dyan, 300,000 dyan, 600,000. Kung ikaw itong domestic carrier na to, jeep ka, bus ka, taxi ka, cars for hire ka, transport contractor ka ng passengers, times 3%. So anong tawag dito sa 18,000? De common carriers tax. Ganyan lang kasimple yan. Okay? O dati, old rule, meron pa tayong minimum quarterly gross receipts na kinakabisado. My God, nung panahon namin, no? Meron pang ganyan. But it was suspended, no? Tapos, tandaan mo, tingnan mo yung benepisyo ng mga jeeps and all. The gross sales of common carriers derived from their incoming and outgoing freight shall not be subjected to the local tax imposed under the local government code. So, ibig sabihin, exempted sila. Saan ka pa makakakita niyan? Okay? So, tatandaan nyo, ganun lang kasimple ang taxation nito. Whatever is the gross sales, multiply it by 3%. Ewan ko na lang pag nagkamali ka. Parang ito yan, whatever is the gross sales, quarterly tayo, you just multiply it by 3%. Pag nagkamali ka pa, ewan ko na lang talaga. Okay? Now, before I proceed, let me just share this particular problem which I came across with. Merong isang, the problem is like this. Meron daw isang taxpayer, okay, meron siyang 5 bus. Meron siyang 5 truck. Halimbawa lang, no? Meron siyang 5 tricycle. Okay, o dagdagan pa natin 5 padjak. O, kumikita rin ng 1 million dito, kumita ng 1 million dyan, 1 million dyan, 1 million dyan. Okay, so on total yan, ang gross niya, 4 million. Ngayon, ang tanong niya, if the taxpayer is a VAT registered taxpayer, how much is the VAT? Diba? Kapag magkano yung percentage tax, yun ang tanong din niya. Magkano yung OPT? Actually, percentage tax ang sinabi niya eh. Okay? Hindi pwedeng magkaroon ng pwedeng magkaroon ng mixed transactions, pero ang registration ganito siya. Kapag bus yan, non-VAT ang registration nito. Kapag yan ay truck, ito vatable ang transaction niyan. Ang tricycle at saka padjak, ibig sabihin transport of common domestic carrier yan, OPT rin to. So ito OPT. Okay? So, if the registration is VAT, alin ang vatable? Ito yung truck na 1 million, yan ang vatable. Logistics. Itong bus na to, padjak, at saka yung tricycle, transport of passengers yan, subject sa common carriers tax. Pero in practice, this is very difficult to really do. Okay, ang ginagawa sa practice kapag ikaw, eto, meron kang tracking, ibang company yan. Tapos ibang company din itong bus company kasi ang bus company subject sa OPT. Okay, hindi naiintindihan minsan yung ano eh, yung sa practice, no? How will you be able to register with the BIR kung meron ka mixed transactions? But anyway, bayanan natin. Tapos ang tanong pa, magkano yung percentage tax daw? Kung ako yung tatanungin mo, walang percentage tax dito kasi OPT. Hindi dapat pinaghahalo-halo ang PT tsaka OPT. Kaya nakakaiyak eh. Kaya kung ako yung magtatanong diyan, naku, ewan ko na lang. But anyway, I'm just sharing with you, 'no, yung ganitong mga concepts. So, ayan, kung tinanong tayo magkano yung OPT, ayan ang sagot natin, yung 1,000,000 na 'to, yung 2,000,000 na 'yan. 'Pag tinanong tayo magkano yung percentage tax, zero. Okay, kung non-VAT ang registration, eto yung 1,000,000 VAT or PT 'yan because they're not covered by the, by the, ano 'yan, OPT na activity. Okay. Now, puntahan naman natin 'to, percentage tax on international carrier, ha. Okay, balikan natin 'to. Kapag sumakay ka ng PAL, Cebu Pacific, domestic flight 'yan, may VAT 'yan. Okay, ulit, domestic air 'to. So, dito natin drawing, okay. PAL, lagyan natin ng pangalan, tapos yung to go. Okay, nagpunta ka ng Palawan, nasa Manila tayo ha, nasa Manila tayo. So ito, zero, ano yan, 12%, sorry. 12% yan, domestic flights kasi. Sumakay ka ng PAL, papunta tayo ng Canada. Kapag ganito, zero rate yan, palabas ng Pilipinas. Pag sumakay ka ng Air Canada, international air carrier yan, papunta tayo ng Canada. Ang sale neto, okay, we're talking about sale neto, yan ay VAT exempt. Bakit yan VAT exempt? Kasi transport of passengers yan. Okay? Ngayon, papaano kung ang sinakay ay cargo, papunta ng ibang bansa, cargo. Aba, kung cargo, eto passenger 'to ha, passenger VAT exempt 'yan. Kapag cargo ang pinag-uusapan, Air Canada, papunta tayo sa Canada, dala-dala natin ang mga bagahe natin, subject 'yan sa gross receipts tax of 3%. Okay, ayun yun, based sa gross sales. Tandaan mo yan, cargo, gross receipts tax 3%. Tao ang isinakay, VAT exempt yan. Sir, papaano kung eto passenger at saka cargo din yan, cargo. Passenger and cargo, vatable. Zero rate naman kung palabas ng Pilipinas. Pag international carrier, iba ang treatment. Kapag passenger, VAT exempt. Kapag cargo, subject sa gross receipts tax. Okay? Tatandaan nyo yan ha. Cargo, ayun, nilakihan na nga natin. Now, anong meron dito? On cargo mail does not include passenger or excess baggage, no? We're talking about excess baggage ha, excess baggage. So, kung merong limit, yung excess ang binabanggit dyan. With uninterrupted flight regardless of whether the tickets are sold within or without. So we're talking about cargo ha, yan yon kasama yung mail dyan. Now, in international, in gross receipts tax on international carriers, the rate is 3% and the basis is 3% of the gross sales. So we're talking about gross sales from the transport of cargo and or mail. Kung 1,000,000 yan, edi times 3%. Ganun lang kasimple. Now, if with reciprocity, pwedeng ma-exempt yan or pwedeng ma-subject sa lower rate. Again, ano yung ibig sabihin ng reciprocity? Aba, edi ganti-ganti to. Okay, halimbawa Philippines. Philippines, ang gross receipts natin, tax natin is 3%. Okay, yan ang general rule na rate natin, general rule na rate. Exception, pwedeng maging lower yan kung merong reciprocity. So halimbawa, Philippines entered into a treaty with Canada, or even if there's no treaty, pero Canada, kapag ang PAL ay Philippine Airlines ay magkakarga ng cargo from Canada going to the Philippines. Ang ginawa ng Canada sa PAL na merong charges on cargo, no? Ang charge niya, in-exempt niya. Anong gagawin natin sa Air Canada? O edi exempt din natin, exempt natin. Bakit in-exempt yung mga Pilipino eh? Eh sir, paano kung ginawang 1%? Eh di 1% ang gagawin natin kay Air Canada. Eh sir, paano pag 5% ang ginawa ng Air Canada sa PAL? Aba, eh di 3% lang tayo. Bakit? Yan lang ang general rule na rate natin eh. Okay, so ganyan ang application ng reciprocity. Okay? Kaya nga yung mga ibang problems with reciprocity, exempt, without reciprocity, taxable. Ano? Saan ang galing yan? No? Anyway, transport of passengers is not exempt. Binanggit na natin kanina. Kapag international carrier, whether air or sea carrier yan. Okay, so ganun lang kasimple. Alam nyo, ito yung isa pa sa mga napapansin ko dyan ha, yung mga gumagawa ng ibang mga exams. Well, I don't really uh, uh, mm, I'm not angry at them, no? Kasi they're just doing their job. They're just trying to interpret the provision of the law and then try to provide an example. Okay, isa pa ito kasi the BOA is requiring under the CPA taxation syllabus entry level skill. Ang gusto ng BOA entry level daw ang alam dapat natin. Okay, ilan ba sa inyo ang magiging accountant nitong international carrier? So para sa akin, ang question should be merong need to know at saka nice to know. Tulad nito, nice to know lang 'yan. Bakit? How many of you will work in international air or sea carrier? So nice to know lang na dapat alam mo bilang accountant ng ang ang mga cargo charges ng mga 'to is subject to 3% gross receipts tax. Eto need to know 'yan. Bakit? Eh, ang daming jeep, ang daming bus taxi. Yung kanina need to know din 'to. Bakit? Eh, yan ang mga iha-handle natin kapag pumasa tayo. Kaya dapat yun ang mga tanong, hindi itong mga magtatanong pa kung magkano yung dumaan pa ng Pilipinas, pumunta ng, Hong Kong, papunta ng US, ano? So I hope these people would have an understanding, including our, members of the Board of Accountancy who practically is doing the, tax questions. I-align doon sa syllabus. Entry level lang. So, meron tayong dapat alam, need to know 'yan, at yung mga nice to know lang. Okay? Ito, tax on franchises. So, anong tawag diyan? Eh, de franchise tax. So, nilagyan natin ng pangalan yung may mga pangalan ha, tawagin natin sa kanyang pangalan. So, kapag domestic carrier, keepers of garage, common carriers tax. Kapag international carrier, gross receipts tax. Kapag franchise yan, franchise tax yan. And it is based on gross sales. Sino itong mga subject sa franchise tax? Kapag radio TV na hindi lumampas ng 10 million at hindi nag-VAT register, no, optional. Aba, subject yan sa 3% franchise tax. Kapag gas and water, 2%, yun lang ang kailangan mong kabisaduhin. Water, H2O, ayan. Okay, kapag Pagcor naman yung gaming operations, when we say kasi ang source ng income ng Pagcor can be two, gaming and non-gaming. So kapag gaming operations, covered yan ng 5% franchise tax. Kapag non-gaming, example, meron siyang rental income, nagpa-concert siya. O mga non-gaming operations yan. So therefore, the income is not covered by the franchise tax. So therefore, subject yan sa regular corporate income tax of 25% at saka subject siya sa 12% VAT. Ganon ang ibig sabihin yan. Okay, yung NGCP, this is a transmission company. So yung kanyang gross sales, okay, na binenta niya sa mga distribution company, including the electric cooperative, subject sila sa 3% franchise tax. At yan ay, itong mga to ay in lieu of all taxes. Okay, tandaan mo, pag kuryente, may VAT yan. Okay, di ba? Meron tayong generation company, nagbebenta siya kay pangalan nito, transmission company. Okay, tapos binebenta kay distribution company, kasama rito yung electric cooperative. May VAT, tapos papunta sa atin, customer, Diyos ko, may VAT. Lahat na lang may VAT, no? So, ayan yun. Okay, franchise tax ang pangalan niya, ha? O, dito naman tayo. Ang pangalan naman nito, overseas communication tax. Kita mo, kaya nga siya other percentage tax because bukod siya doon sa 3% percentage tax. So, the overseas communication tax is basically based on overseas dispatch, message or conversation originating from the Philippines. Alam nyo, para sa akin, dapat tanggalin na to. Okay, kasi if you are from the Philippines, you're going to call somebody. Okay, let's say your loved one in a foreign country, you use the modern mode of communication. You can use Messenger, okay, Viber, ano pa ba? Viber, yung FaceTime, yung Snapchat, not sure, Skype, yung Zoom, okay, yung may mga secret, Telegram. If you're going to call somebody, libre yung mga yun. Okay, kaya para sa akin dapat tanggalin na to. But anyway, hanggat hindi pa tinatanggal to, dapat alam mo to. So how does this apply? You have a cell phone or a landline. You use that to call your loved one in that foreign country. So may charge yan. So yung charge na yan, plus 10% ka. Bakit? Any overseas dispatch message originating from the Philippines is subject to overseas communication tax. Okay? The tax base is billed. So kapag na-bill na ni communication company, binil ka niya, "Oy, ito yung bill mo sa pagtawag mo sa ibang bansa, 5,000." O di plus 10% 'yan. Billed 'yan, dati kasi paid. Okay? For such services who use the communication facilities. Okay, so exceptions, meaning these are exempt from overseas communication tax. Yung DING, tatandaan mo. DING ang bato. Alin yan? Yung D is diplomatic services. Let's say Embassy of the US in the Philippines would call will call the White House in Washington. Aba, yung dispatch from the Philippines to the US, exempt yan. Okay, yung I, international organizations. Okay, for messages transmitted by international organizations or any of its agencies based in the Philippines, enjoying privileges, exemptions, immunities. Example, meron tayong World Health Organization dito or World Trade Organization. Tumawag yung Philippine-based na ano natin na yan, organization or yung ADB, no? Or yung UN. Tinawag nila yung head office nila sa Geneva, Switzerland. Aba, exempted yan. Ano pa? Yung N, news services. Okay, yung CNN Philippines. Halimbawa, would call CNN headquarters in the US. Aba, exempt din yan. At saka yung government calls. So which means if the president or yung mga ano natin, government officials will be calling their counterparts abroad, that call is exempt from overseas communication tax. Okay? So, kung magkano lang yung bill ha, binili ka na 10,000 sa pagtawag mo, tagal eh. E di multiply lang ng 10% yan, yung 1,000, anong tawag? Overseas communication tax. Kanya lang kasimple to. O, ito, maganda. Tax on banks. Tapos, and non-bank financial intermediaries performing quasi-banking functions. They're not banks, but they act like a bank. Okay, so what are banks? Remember, this one is defined under RFBT, no? It refers to persons and entities engaged in lending funds obtained from public. Mga bangko yan. Yung non-bank naman, financial intermediary, ito yung mga tao or entities whose principal functions include lending. They invest, they place funds or equity deposited with them, acquired by them, or otherwise coursed through them with or with your own account or for the account of others. Kasi pwedeng gamitin lang yung pera ng iba. Ang rule dito, applicable din sa mga money changers. Okay? Huwag mong kakalimutan. Kaya nga, by the way, nabalikan natin yung VAT exemption. Kapag nagpapalit ka ng pera, alam nga namang may VAT yun, nagpapalit ka lang ng pera. Kaya hindi sila subject sa VAT. VAT exempt yan. Okay, dito naman yung bangko. Alam nga namang nag-open ka lang ng account, nag-withdraw ka lang. Alam nga namang merong VAT yan. Kaya mga VAT exempt itong mga to. Okay? Now, what do we call the tax? We call it gross receipts tax. So, from the term itself, gross receipts. So, which means this was not amended by the EOPT. Gross receipts pa rin yan. So, what is the basis of the gross receipts? Okay, ang mga rates muna tayo. It can be 51077. It will depend on the income. Okay, dito muna tayo sa taas. Dito tayo, ayan. Dito tayo sa dalawa na to. Let's look at okay, let's focus on this one. On these two. Ayan. Dito muna tayo. Gross receipts on interests. Anong ibig sabihin? Bangko ito, bank yan, bank or non-bank financial intermediary. Okay? Performing quasi-banking function. Nagpautang siya. So, siya ay creditor. Creditor to, tapos merong debtor. Ayan. Ayan. Okay? Nag-earn ng interest income. Ito sa kanya, interest expense yan. So, yung any interest derived by the bank or non-bank financial intermediaries, including money changers kung nagpautang siya, yung interest na yan ay subject sa 5% or 1% depende doon sa maturity ng instruments. So halimbawa, itong borrower na to, yung debtor na yan, merong isang instrument, 10 years ang term. Ito namang isa, 3 years ang term. So yung interest na income na na-earn ni bangko, ito subject ito sa 5%, sa long term, 1%. Tapos ito, subject yan sa 5%. Yung income niya, 10 years, 3 years. So, yung income niya dito, interest income niya, 1% yan. Dito, 5%. Okay? So, ganyan lang kasimple. Sir, paano i-account to? Paano kung 100 ang nangutang? Di isa-isahin mo yan. Tapos, yung lahat ng interest income from all of these loans, subject yan sa 5% or 1%. Okay? Tandaan mo, habang tumatagal, bumababa siya. Na-repeal na kasi ng SIMEPA yung sa individual taxpayers long-term deposits ang rate niyon 20%, 12%, 5% exempt more than 5 years pero ayoko na kayo lituhin. Basta paglampas ng 5 years yan, 1% lang. Habang tumatagal, bumababa yung tax. Pero kapag within 5 years lang, 5% yan. Okay? O ano pa? Itong bangko na to or non-bank financial intermediaries, nag-earn siya ng commission. Paano pwedeng mag-earn ng commission ang isang bangko? Ano natin, simplify natin. Wait lang, parang nawala ako. Okay. How can the bank earn commission? So halimbawa, eto si bank, ABC Bank. Okay, meron siyang customer. Ito si customer. Sabi ni customer, I need 100 million. Mangungutang ako ng 100 million, sabi ni customer kay bangko. Sabi ni bangko, I don't have 100 million, pero I can check with XYZ Bank. So tinanong ni ABC, pre, meron ka bang 100 million? Sabi niya, meron. Bakit? Ay, secret. Sabi niya, meron akong customer na gustong mangutang. Pwede mo bang pautangin? Sabi ni XYZ. Siyempre, ano sasabihin nito? Bikini men. O sige, nag-agree to. Sige, bigyan kitang 1% commission. O edi yung 1% na na-earn na commission neto, subject yan sa gross receipts tax. Anong rate? 5% or 1%. Depende saan. Gaano katagal yung instrument. Kapag ito nangutang dito, ayun, nangutang siya dyan. Okay, si customer nangutang dito kay bangko. Anong gaano katagal yung term? 10 years. 10 years yung term. Aba, yung commission na 'to, na kinita niyang 1%, subject yan sa 1% gross receipts tax. Bakit? More than 5 years, eh. Paano kung 2 years lang? Aba, 5% yan. So, yung commission na 'to na kinita niya, 5% yan. Ganyan kasimple. Okay? O ano naman 'tong, discounts na 'to? Discounts, aba, we're talking about receivables here and other assets. So halimbawa no, si ABC Bank. Okay, meron siyang customer si DEF Corporation. Sabi ng DEF Corporation, oy meron ako receivable 100 million. Baka pwede kong ibenta sa iyo. Sabi naman ni ABC, sige, pwede naman. Magkano? 95 million. Okay, so may discount. Yung 5 million na to, ano yan? Yan yung discount from lending. Okay? So, anong meron diyan, no? Yung rate applicable is 5% or 1%. So, depending on the maturity. So, titignan lagi natin yan. Itong pinag-uusapan natin about banks, medyo advanced to. Okay, so para sa akin, nice to know to mga to. Magiging problema mo lang naman to if you work in the bank. But how many of you will work in the bank? Okay, so entry level skill, nice to know lang dapat to, pero I don't know, no, how the BOA will handle this. But anyway, ayan ang basically, the basis, interest, commissions, discounts from lending, and income from financial leasing. So yung financial leasing, i-apply mo rito. So yan yung 5% at saka 1%. Now, let's go to the another income. So okay na tayo dyan. Dividends and equity shares in net income of subsidiaries exempt, zero siya. Saan natin i-relate to? Sa income tax. Ano yung income tax? Ang tawag natin sa income tax dito, intercorporate dividends. So which means if a domestic corporation declared dividends and the shareholder is another domestic corporation, we call that intercorporate dividends, exempt sa final tax. So kung exempt sa final tax, exempt din pala sa business tax. O, diba? Basic. Dito naman tayo. Dito, pagsabayin na natin, parehas lang kasi yung rate. Itong dalawa na to, essentially, ito yung mga other income ng bangko at saka mga non-bank financial intermediaries at saka money changers. Sama na natin. So which means if the bank would derive income from rental, royalties, pinagamit kasi yung kanyang mga intangible. Okay, rental ng real personal property, meron siyang profits from exchange, all other items of gross income. Tapos nagte-trade din ng bangko, my goodness, lahat ng income nila subject sa 7%. 'Di ba napakasimple lang? Mm. So that's gross receipts tax. Okay, now let's go to section 122. Tax on other. So other siya, ito non-bank financial intermediaries kasi. Tax on other non-bank financial intermediaries and they do not perform quasi-banking functions. Ito applicable to, tignan mo yung nature, mga pawn shop at saka mga non-stock savings and loan association. Example niyan, yung AFSLI, AFP, Savings and Loan Association Incorporated, APSLI. Okay? Kaya pag nakita mo ng Stock Savings and Loan Association, aba, ito yun. Tsaka yung mga pawn shop. Anong meron dito? Tingnan mo. The basis is gross receipts tax. And saan galing yan? Aba, yung pawn shop ba tsaka mga loan association na to, pwede ba magpautang? Oo. Eh di yung interest nila, subject yan sa 5%. Okay? Same lang dito. Yung interest na yan, galing yan, yung interest na yan would depend on the maturity. Parehas lang sa bangko. More than 5 years ba? Eh di 1% lang. Less than 5 years ba? Eh di 5%. Ganyan lang kasimple. Basta ito galing sa lending activities. So yung commission, kung halimbawa, katulad ng kwento kanina nangumisyon lang sila sa pagpapautang, yung mga discounts from lending activities, including financial leasing. Tingnan mo lang yung maturity, parehas lang sa bangko. Okay, pinaghiwalay lang sila kasi bangko to, tsaka ito parang bangko. Ito, bukod siya ron. Pero practically, the income derived by them would come from the same source, from interest, from commissions, from discounts. Okay, so ayan yan, 5% and 1%. Dito naman tayo, tax on life insurance. So total premium tax, ang tawag dito premium tax. Minsan premium, tinatawag kasing premium tax ng iba, di tawagin na lang natin premium tax para makilala mo siya. So tignan muna natin. So we're talking about life insurance. So there are two types of insurance. It can be life or not life. Okay? So dito, life insurance. Ang rate 2% based on premium collected. So yung mga hinuhulog dyan. Okay? The rate is based on RA 10001. Dating 5% yan. Okay? So life ito ha. So tandaan mo lang, no? Kahit isa lang ang buhay, minsan may pag-asa pa. Kaya well, that's how I remember this. Kapag life insurance, hanggang isa lang yung dalawang buhay, no? Pag sinuswerte ka lang. So exceptions. Basta life 2 yan. Now, ibig sabihin, hindi covered ang premium tax to. Alin? Yung mga cooperative companies. Kapag ang premium is refunded within 6 months after payment, hindi yan pwedeng i-adjust yan. Ibig sabihin hindi bawiin yung 2% premium tax na binayaran. Bakit? Binawi ni umatras yung insured. Okay, tapos reinsurance by company, local or foreign that has already paid the tax. Natural, wala nang premium tax yan kasi nga binayaran na yung tax na yan Premiums of insured who is non-resident and taxes are paid abroad. Okay, bakit hindi sila covered ng premium tax? 'Di ba? Meron tayong tinatawag na payment to non-residents. Isa ito doon sa mga item. Ito yung number 2. Kaya exempt yan kasi yan ay subject sa final VAT. Okay, tapos paano naman yung premium on health and accident insurance? Okay, shall be considered as premium on life insurance, yung mga health and accident. Kasi we're talking about life insurance So yung life insurance, ibig sabihin, kasama pala yung health dyan. Kasama pala yung accident insurance din. So which means if the insurance came from health or accident, subject din niya sa 2% premium tax based on premium payment. Okay? So ayan ha. Ngayon, grinupo natin to. Life insurance to. Ito naman, agents of foreign insurance companies. So ibig sabihin, there is a foreign insurance company, non-resident yan, and they have agents here. So they cover mga fire, marine, or miscellaneous insurance, mga non-life yan. So whatever is the premium collected, same here, the rate is more than twice of section 123. Twice ng section 123. Magkano ba yung 123? 2%. So kapag non-life yan, tapos applicable to sa agents ng foreign insurance company, 4%. Ito naman, owners of property, obtain insurance directly with foreign insurance companies. O, eto si ABC Corp. Ayan si ABC Corp. Ang pwede niya kasing kausapin dito, dalawa, yung agents. At saka ito, yung direct non-resident foreign corporation na insurance company. So kapag direct siya sa insurance company, 5% yung payment. Yan ang premium tax. Pero kapag yan ay agent, 4%. Okay? O dito naman tayo. So again, itong mga to para sa akin, nice to know ito. Pero dito marami kasing life insurance dito, need to know yan. Pero dito, dito, nice to know yan. Dito naman tayo, need to know tayo, amusement tax. Kailan applicable kanino applicable ang amusement tax? Doon sa mga tinatawag na amusement places. Amusement places. Ang amusement place, iba yan sa mga example, theme parks. Diyos ko po, okay? Akala ng iba yung theme park daw since merong amusement dyan, entertainment, amusement place na. Mali. Ang theme park hindi covered. Tignan mo yung bakit naging amusement place yan. Kasi it's all about sugal, hayalay at saka karera ng kabayo. Yung mga sabungan, yung mga cabaret, when you say cabaret, ito yung parang nightclub. Nightclub din yan na pwede kang mag-table ng mga kung sinong dyan. Lalaki or babae, depende sa preference nyo. Yung mga professional basketball games sa PBA, yan yun. Boxing exhibitions. Okay? Yung mga merong videoke, karaoke boxes, basta yan ay merong karaoke, videoke, music lounge, amusement place din yan. Sir, paano yung mga restaurant na merong videoke? Amusement place siya. Sir, paano ibig sabihin hindi debatable? Oo, kasi nga kung amusement place, amusement tax yan. Kaya nga yung mga kaibigan ko na may negosyo na restaurant tapos naglagay ng videoke, sabi ko tanggalin mo yan. Ayaw mong masubject sa 18%. Kasi bakit? Magiging amusement place ka. Mga music lounge to ha, kasama yung mga halimbawa nagkakanta dyan. So, yan. O, dito muna tayo, Hayalay and racetrack, 30%. Sino yung magbabayad nito? Yung amusement place. Ito naman, cockpits, cabarets, night or play club, 18%. Yung professional basketball games, 15%. Pero kapag ang boxing exhibition covers a world or oriental championships in any division, tapos isang boxer Filipino promoted by a corporation owned by at least 60% of Filipinos, exempt yan. Pero hindi yan covered ng kapag hindi ito, 10% tayo. Kapag videoke, 18%. Ganyan lang kasimple. So which means, halimbawa, kumita ang nightclub ng 100,000. I-multiply mo lang ng 18% yan. Ganyan lang kasimple. Yung PBA, kumita ng 1 million. Di multiply mo lang ng 15% yan. Gross kasi. Hindi affected ng EOPT. Okay, medyo sir sa mall. Kumita ng 100,000. Anong gagawin? Di multiply mo lang ng 18%. Yung 18,000, anong tawag dyan? Di amusement tax. Diba? This is how I remember this, no? Kapag sugal, pang 30 years old. Kapag club, mga sabungan, tsaka yung mga karaoke, mga gustong-gusto, at least 18 years old. Kapag basketball, at least 15. Kapag boxing, basta 10. Ganyan lang kasimple. Ito naman, tax on winnings on racehorse. Anong example? Ano naman to? Para sa akin, nice to know lang din to. Bakit? Ilan ba yung rito? Ilan ba yung racetrack sa Pilipinas? Isa lang. Yung nasa Cavite. Na dating ito yung sa sa ayoko nang banggitin yung nasa isang mall. Okay? Kinonvert dati yung racetrack sa Manila, naging mall siya. San Lazaro. Ngayon, nung naging mall na yon, yung San Lazaro racetrack na yan, lumipat na sa Cavite. Nag-iisa lang yan. Kaya nga yung mga gumagawa ng exam akala mo talaga master na master, eh. Pero how does this work? Okay, applicable ano lang 'to, isa lang 'tong race, track na 'to. Kaya ang meron lang concern dito, eh, di yung racetrack owner lang na 'to. Okay, so papaano ba tina-tax yan, yung bettor? Oh, kapag ang winning or dividends, yung kinita niya, less cost of the ticket. So halimbawa, kumita siya ng 1,000, okay, ₱50 lang yung ticket. O eh, di minus niya yan, o di 950 times 10%. Ganyan lang kasimple yan, 95 yung tax on winnings. Yan ang ibibigay ang ibibigay sa iyo 950 less 95. Yan ang ibibigay. Okay, kapag ang bet winnings came from bet and the bet is double, forecast quiniela trifecta. Double dalawa, trifecta tatlo, quiniela apat. Okay, so kung dito galing ang bet mo kasi ito isa isa lang yung bet dito, mamimili ka lang ng isang kabayo, dito double, trifecta, quiniela. Okay, yung winnings mo diyan ang ikakaltas 4%. Again, net cost of the ticket. So halimbawa, bumili ka ng ticket 50 pesos. Ang winnings mo 1,000. O edi 950, imo-multiply yan ng 4%. Ganyan lang kasimple. Okay. So yung 4%, tax on winnings ang tawag, tax on winnings. Okay? Tapos ang may-ari naman ng kabayo, whatever is the winnings, 10% siya. So nanalo siya ng 10 million. Eh di imo-multiply lang ng 10% yan, yung 1 million, yun yung tax on winnings. Ganyan lang kasimple, Michael. So makukuha niya net 9 million. Net yan, net. Okay? Ito naman another example 'no, na need to know 'to. Kasi marami ng mga ano ngayon investor, eh. Okay, Section 127 is the last item of a percentage tax. It applies to tax on sale, barter exchange of stocks listed and traded sa Philippine Stock Exchange. So ito mga listed companies ito, listed shares of listed companies. San Miguel, GMA7, FEU, okay, Ayala, SM, San Miguel, BDO, BPI, ayan ang lahat ng mga yan. Okay, so kapag merong sale or barter or exchange of these transactions, okay, of listed shares, ito ay subject sa stock transaction tax. And the base is whatever is the value, it's now 1/10 of 1%. Yan na yung rate under Capital Markets Efficiency and Promotion Act, si MEPA. Dati ito na 6/10 of 1%. Ngayon, 1/10 of 1% na. Sobrang baba. So halimbawa, ito, individual or corporation. Okay, bibili ng shares of stocks ng San Miguel Corporation. Dadaan siya sa accredited stockbroker. Stockbroker. Okay, so bibili diyan, siya yung kukuha ng shares. So halimbawa, 1 million ang biniling shares, edi times 1/10 of 1%. Yan yung magiging stock transaction tax. So yung stock transaction tax, kukunin nito, isisingil niya diyan. So yung 1 million, so halimbawa, sabi nito, "Oy, bili mo nga ako ng 1 million shares ng San Miguel Corporation." O sige, magkano yung gusto mong bilhin? 1 million, sabi nito, 1 million. So ang i-charge ni stockbroker, yung 1 million kasi yan ang pambibili niya, cost niya yan eh. Tapos, sisingil din niya yung stock transaction tax, natural. Alangan namang ito yung magbabayad niyan, si broker hindi niya babayaran yan. So 1 million times 1% muna tayo, divided by 10. So yung 1,000 isisingil din niya kay buyer yan. Ito si buyer. Okay, ito si seller, si San Miguel ha. Tapos etong si broker, natural maniningil yan ng commission. Sabi niya, "Oh, ang commission ko, 3%, 30,000." O di sisingil niya. Ito masa-subject sa 12% VAT or percentage tax depende sa kanyang registration. Pero ito na kinolekta ni broker na stock transaction tax, ire-remit niya yan kay BIR. Bakit? Galing yan kay buyer, eh. Okay, so ganyan lang kasimple ang stock transaction tax. Now, ito naman mga kapatid, tax on shares of stock sold or exchanged through public offerings. Tinanggal yan sa Bayanihan to Recover as One Act. Ibig sabihin ni-repeal to. Ibig sabihin, ito, hindi mo na yan. Yung mga initial public offering, wala na yan. Okay? Kaya pag meron ka nakita questions about public offerings, IPO, wala. Kamaniwala. Fake news, wala na yan. Okay? Now, let's go to other special considerations. Tatandaan mo ha, kapag bangko yan and other non-bank financial intermediaries, they are subject to gross receipts tax. Kapag lending investor, hindi bangko, hindi non-bank financial intermediaries, subject yan sa 12% VAT. Batable ang mga yan. Kapag microfinance NGO yan, it's 2% of gross sales, which is in lieu of all taxes. Kapag naman cooperative, alam mo na, VAT exempt and percentage tax exempt yan. Okay? And at least those related to their members only. Now, under EOPT, Ease of Paying Tax Law, filing for non-VAT taxpayer, parehas na ng VAT registration. Consolidated ang filing ng head office at saka branches. Prior to EOPT, pwede kasing separate ang head office and branch, pero ngayon, consolidated na. So, which means, one return lang ipafile natin. Okay, and just to give you an idea, quarterly filing began on January 1, 2018 under train law. Kasi dati may monthly pa yan. Ngayon, quarterly na lang. Okay? So, did you know that if a person would be retiring from business, sapat ang tawag natin dyan, cessation or closure. Okay? Same lang din yan. Under the chapter of percentage tax and other percentage tax, alam nyo nakalagay, any person subject to percentage tax. So pag sinabi percentage tax, dalawa. Ito yung PT na 3% o kaya yung OPT na sangkatutak. Okay? You are required to notify ang nakalagay sa tax code o nearest RDO. You need to file the return, yung applicable income tax, percentage tax return, and pay the corresponding tax within 20 days after the closure of business. Yan ang nakalagay sa tax code. Pag percentage tax, pero sa practice, alam nyo, well, lumalampas yan. Okay, now let's talk about government money payments. Ano sabi natin sa iyo during discussions on VAT? Kapag sinabing government money payments, ito ay perspective ng government. So, siya yung buyer dito. Kasi, ang kabaligtaran nito, sale to government. Okay, so balikan natin yung nakaraan. Sa VAT tayo. Kapag ang VAT registered taxpayer ay merong sale to government, okay, so private yan. Magdadagdag siya ng 12% VAT doon sa gobyerno. Sale to government to plus 12% VAT. Si government naman shall withhold 5% creditable VAT. Diba magkakaltas siya. Bukod dyan, magwi-withhold din siya ng 1% or 2% sa goods or service or 5 or 10% sa professional, etc. Okay? So, itong kinaltas na to, tax credit siya sa income tax. Ito, tax credit sa withholding tax. Creditable. Sa creditable withholding tax, sorry. So, ba't ang registration nito? Kaya 5% ang withholding. Pero kapag ang private entity ay non-VAT ang kanyang registration, meaning percentage tax 3% siya, ang ikakaltas ni gobyerno ay 3% creditable percentage tax. Okay? So, ulit. Si gobyerno pa pwedeng bumili sa isang VAT registered or non-VAT. Okay, so ito yung seller. Ito yung si buyer, si gobyerno tayo. Kapag bumili siya sa VAT, magkakaltas siya ng 5% creditable VAT. Kapag non-VAT, 3% creditable percentage tax yan. Bukod yan sa expanded withholding tax na ikakaltas na 1% or 2% or 5 and 2%. Bukod yan ha. Bukod yan. Kasi ito income tax to, ito business tax to. Okay, so tapos na tayo sa VAT. Dito naman tayo sa non-VAT. Now, which means if the government's GOCC, NGA, LGU, instrumentalities ay bibili kanino? To persons subject to percentage tax, non-VAT, yan yun. The government shall withhold the rates of 3%. Ayun, kakaltas niya yung 3%. Ang 3% na yan, creditable yan sa percentage tax ni non-VAT taxpayer. Itong 1 or 2% naman or 5 or 10%, creditable yan sa income tax. Okay, so let's look at the illustrations. Sale of goods naman to. Ang municipality ng Pagbilao, that's where my father hails, no? Bumili ng 1 million kay Nicanor, a non-VAT registered retailer of goods. Aba, kung goods, tatandaan mo, 1% ang EWT niyan. Following the conduct of the bidding in accordance with the procurement law. So, ang tanong, on the part of the government, magkano ikakaltas ni LGU? Aba, yung municipal accountant, magkakaltas ng 3%. 1 million ang gross purchases times 3%. Magkakaltas siya ng 30,000 percentage tax. Bukod dyan, magkakaltas din siya ng 1%. Expanded withholding tax yan. So, total, 30,000. So, yun ang mga ikakaltas. On the part of the LGU, how much will they pay the buyer? Aba, kung kinaltas mo yung 40,000 na yan, yung total na yan, ang cash na or check that we will be preparing would be 960,000. Yan ang ibabayad natin kay supplier. Tapos magbibigay pa ng Form 2307. Ang 2307 na to, tax credit certificate yan. Tax credit certificate. So proof yan ng withholding. Okay? So gagamitin niya yung 3% as tax credit sa kanyang percentage tax at yung 1% naman sa kanyang income tax. Proof of credit yan. Paano naman kung on the part of the seller, magbabayad na siya ng percentage tax on the sale? Very simple lang. Magkano yung gross sales niya? Magkano yung benta niya? 1 million. Magkano yung percentage tax? 3%. So, ang percentage tax niya, 3%, 30,000 din. Kinaltasan na siya ng gobyerno. Di ba, kinaltasan siya ng 30,000. Di tax credit niya yan, yung 30,000, yung 3% na yan. Kaya effectively, in advance lang ng gobyerno, yung percentage tax na babayaran dito ni seller. Okay, parang nakuha na kaagad ni withholding ang nangyari. Nakuha na kaagad ng gobyerno yung pera bago pa bayaran. Okay, kaltas to. Paano naman pag service? Aba, the municipality of Pagbilao, Quezon purchased 1 million from Nicanor ng service niya. Okay, magkano ang ikakaltas? Ano ba yung registration? Non-VAT. De 3% ang ikakaltas. Service yan. Di magdagdag ng 2% sa EWT. So, 30,000 sa percentage tax, 20,000 sa EWT. Magkano ngayon? Ang total niyan, 50,000. Magkano yung cash na ibabayad? 950 na lang. Tapos bibigyan natin si Nicanor ng Form 2307. Katunayan na kinaltasan natin siya ng percentage tax at saka 2% EWT. So ito, creditable siya sa PT, creditable naman to sa income tax. Paano naman kung si seller ay i-report na niya ang sales niya sa kanyang monthly, quarterly return? Di yung 1 million na sales, i-multiply lang ng rate na 3%. 30,000 ang percentage tax. Kinaltasan na siya ng gobyerno ng 3%. Di tax credit niya. Tandaan mo, meron siyang proof dito, 2307. So wala na siyang babayaran na percentage tax on the sale to the government because the same has been withheld and remitted already by the government. Okay? Paano kung mixed transactions? Bumili na siya ng non-VAT, bumili ng goods, 1 million. Bumili ng service, 1 million. Aba, magkano yung kakaltas ni accountant? Yung 2 million na purchase niya, since non-VAT yan, i-multiply lang niya ng 3%. O kaya gusto mo, 1 million goods times 3%, 1 million service times 3%, parehas lang. Tapos magkalta siya ng 1% dun sa goods, 2% dun sa service. Okay, so magkano ang ibabayad? 60,000 doon, 30,000 diyan, so 90,000. So ang ibabayad na cash, well, not really cash, but the check that will be issued is 1,910,000. Tapos bibigyan natin si Nicanor ng Form 2307. Okay? Yung percentage tax niya na 3%, okay? Ah, na 3% na kinaltas, tax credit sa percentage tax 'yan. Tapos yung 2% at saka yung 1% naman doon sa goods and service, 1 and 2% sa goods and service, tax credit 'yan sa income tax. Easy, gano'n lang kasimple 'to. Okay, so on the part of the seller, if he will be reporting the sale, anong mangyayari? Gross sales niya 2,000,000. Imu-multiply lang natin at rate na 3%. So 60,000 ang percentage tax. Kinaltasan na siya ng gobyerno ng 3% eh. So tax credit niya. Again, effectively, there's no percentage tax to pay kapag meron tayong transactions with the government. Kung non-VAT tayo kasi kinaltas na ng buo. Okay? So here, we are now down to the filing of returns. Ito yung mga returns na yan. No? Kanino ba applicable to? Yung 2551Q quarterly percentage tax return to all of these taxpayers. Ito yung ginagamit natin sa mga non-VAT na 3% percentage tax siya. Sa lahat na to hanggang section 125. Okay, the deadline is same with the VAT. It's on the 25th day after the close of each quarter. So which means kung first quarter yan, meron tayong January, meron tayong February, meron tayong March. I-close natin yan. Ano yung kasunod na buwan? April 25. Ganun na kasimple. O second quarter tayo, tuloy na natin. So meron tayong April, meron tayong May dyan, meron tayong June. I-close mo yan. July yung kasunod, 25th. July 25. Ganyan na kasimple. Parehas ang sabat at saka percentage tax. Natural. Sa mga winnings naman, sa mga racetrack owner, 1600 WP. Kapag 1600, final yan, di ba? Parang 600 PT, final what yun? 1600 PT, final na percentage tax yun. Ito, yung winnings, okay, yan ay final din. Tapos, 20th day naman. Yung 1600 VT, 10th day yun, pero dito, 20th day yan. Tapos, applicable sa mga stockbrokers naman natin, yung mga ito, mga sale o barter exchange of shares of stocks listed in the stock exchange, okay, ang form 25502. Okay, tapos ayan ang deadline. Wala na ito ha. Yung kapag galing naman sa special law, kung ano yung sinabi ng special law, yun ang deadline. Okay? Now, where do we file? Remember, under EOPT, we can file anywhere. We can file the return to any authorized agent bank. If with payment, we can file with any RDO through Revenue Collection Officer. We can file any authorized tax software provider. We can file anywhere. Exception unless the commissioner prescribed a specific venue. Okay, old rule, we can only file where our RDO is registered. Sa mga bangko, accredited by them, doon lang papasok ang payment natin or magpa-file. Okay, mode of filing, electronic tayo or manual. Ang electronic, EFPS to or EBIR forms. Parehas lang ha, for EBIR forms. Okay, pwede namang manual, pero ang gusto ni BIR, syempre, electronic filing. So, basically, that sums up our discussions on percentage tax. So, I hope no, we were able to clarify how the transactions of non-VAT taxpayers, either subject to PT or OPT, are being taxed accordingly. Okay, so ayun. Sana naliwalagan ng lahat kasi madali lang talaga to. Okay, so ayun, bye-bye.